Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Warships Legends. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and tonight we are back in the Massachusetts. Now, we are back with Rin again, you guys know from yesterday's video, and hopefully you guys had a great weekend. We have another crazy match. You can only call this a crazy match. There's no other way to like title this. This is just crazy. Like, this match ends up being ridiculous. And I know I seem to say that a lot, but you guys know me. I'm the most aggressive player on the planet when it comes to battleships. So, it doesn't work all the time, but when it does, it's usually ridiculous, and that's really the only way to describe it. So, hopefully you guys are ready. We got another doozy for you guys. And we are on Atlantic. Atlantic, not the greatest map in the world for a brawler build Massachusetts, but we're going to make it work. And the only way I know how, which is get our butts kicked and then somehow pull it off. I don't know how it works. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But yeah, we're going to push straight into Charlie Cap. You'll notice there's only one destroyer. There's a few cruisers and a bunch of battleships. So this is going to be one of those kind of matches where there's going to be plenty of damage to be had. And it's going to take more than just me to carry our team through this. In theory. Nah, it really is. I couldn't have done this alone, that's for sure. There is going to be lots of will to rebuild later. Just saying. It's going to be a thing. But yeah, we're going to push forward. We got a cruiser leading the charge, which is always a good sign. Until that cruiser ends up getting obliterated. But unfortunately, first thing that gets spotted is Charles Martel, but he's so fast, there's no way I'm going to be able to get that shot over the island and hit him. So we just hold our fire. We do get spotted, obviously. He's inside our range, but he's not the only one. There's somebody else here. And I think it's the destroyer going into the Bravo cap. But yeah, right off the bat, we've got a Flounder. Flounder's going to make what can only be described as a very ill-advised turn. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I was just sitting here waiting. I was like, go ahead. No, I'll wait. But he doesn't. He kind of stops at an angle. So we aim high and we go for the shot. You can see the torpedoes from the Charles Martel coming in at our cruiser. And we're going to try to just use the island straight ahead as cover, but also try not to go too broadside to these guys. We got a Flounder here. We got a couple other battleships in the back there. We have the Kansas on, you know, straight ahead. And we also have the Charles Martel that's real close. Now, I'm keeping an eye on who's out here, what they're doing. And, you know, Tirpitz is sailing broadside, but at close range, the Flounder has decided he wants to turn into the gap to go to the mid. Which is fine. If he wants to make that play, I will definitely let him feel it. Now, obviously, you guys know with us being detected that there was a destroyer somewhere around, right? We don't know exactly where he's at, but we get 5 full penetrations plus 2 overpins on that Flounder and absolutely ruined him. And we weren't the only ones that hit him. Pretty sure Ren got a shot in there as well. Now, as I'm starting to get loaded here, I'm like, okay, maybe I'll shoot the Charles, but he's about to go behind the island. We got lots of torpedoes coming across. Our cruiser, the Suja, unfortunately, not long for this world. So we're taking this moment while everybody's shooting at the Suja to make our turn to prepare to shoot the Charles Martel when he comes around the island. Now, the Charles actually does a pretty good job here, realizing that I'm waiting for him. He turns away. Now, obviously, he overangles again, and this is a very dangerous moment, but he gets away with it. We only hit him with 4 shells. Well, we hit him with 6 shells, but 2 of them bounced, which is weird. But yeah, did end up bouncing 2. We got 4 hits. Not a huge amount of damage, but enough to at least get his attention. Ren takes a shot at him and leaves him with about 10,000 hit points left. And in 8 seconds, we should easily be able to dispatch him. That's what I was thinking, anyway. So, I mean, especially with him turning out like this is guaranteed kill, right? Right? Yeah, it's pretty much guaranteed. So we get 5 hits. He goes down. That's our first kill of the game. The enemy has lost 2 people. They've lost a battleship and a cruiser. Their Flounder and the Charles. So French Navy has fallen apart already. We have Kansas here taking shots at us, and you can see I'm already in a kite-eating position. Now, Rin has dropped her smoke screen, so we're able to get out of there. If you didn't notice, Rin is actually in the Vittorio Veneto. And so she drops the smoke screen. I'm able to disengage for a little bit, and then I come out the smoke screen to spot for us, because if we're both in the smoke screen and we don't have anybody to spot, guess what? We can't shoot anything. Now, I take a pretty nasty hit from the Massachusetts, and I'm cognizant of the fact there is also a Kansas, so I don't want to continue the turn. So I just go ahead, take the shot with the rear turret, and start trying to see if I can't angle away a bit. Now, unfortunately, Rin is going to kind of be caught here between the Massachusetts and the Kansas and the third battleship, which I believe is the Tirpitz, that went all the way around. And so there's 3 battleships. I'm going to try to keep this Massachusetts' attention off of Rin, but again, I mean, it's one of those things where you know that we are outnumbered. We don't have the hit points to survive 3-on-1 battleships, especially with them spread out the way that they are. So you've got to disengage at this point. And a lot of people don't do this, and I'm one of them. I tend to get stuck in and refuse to get stuck out. But sometimes you got to disengage for a little bit, get as much off of people as possible, and limit who can shoot you and how much you're going to take in return. Now, we know we have 5 heals, so we're not in any hurries. We can prolong this fight for quite a while. And you can see every time we heal, our secondaries are causing fires. That's that beautiful, what do you call it, inspiration that I used on my commander that increases, it's Justinian Lions. And what he does is when you're healing, he increases the fire chance of your battleship to cause fire by 30%, and that extends to the secondaries. So essentially, my secondaries have a 36% chance or a 35% chance of setting fires while I'm healing. And they do a pretty nasty job of it, as the Massachusetts can attest. Now, the Massachusetts had to damage con our fires. So he is now completely just waiting to die at this point. Like, any sort of fires at this point should be enough to kill him, because nobody's close enough. Now, obviously, Rin is hitting him with the SAP secondary, so she's not going to get a fire. Rin is not long for this world as she goes down. Massachusetts manages to finish her off. And then we take a shot at the Massachusetts, taking a good chunk off of him, and now you can see we are no longer disengaging, we are re-engaging. Now, I completely forgot about the Tirpitz, I ain't gonna lie. There is a Tirpitz on this left side, and I completely forgot about him. I knew the Kansas was here, I knew the Massachusetts was here. Massachusetts is starting to heal, so I need to try to get rid of one of these guys before they get hooked up for Will to Rebuild. If Will to Rebuild activates for these guys, we're screwed. So I'm going to focus the Massachusetts down. And remember, like I said, there's still a Tirpitz out there who took a shot at us a second ago, and I completely forgot that he existed. Now, fortunately, Massachusetts goes down by our battleship that's right here to my right, who's about to push over towards me. And you can see I am now turning towards him. Partly because I want to get all my guns to fire at the Kansas, because he just fired. And partly because I want to get closer to him because I need Will to Rebuild. We're getting to that stage of the fight. Now, I still have 3 heals left. Keep that in mind. Well, I say that. I have 2 heals left, and I just popped a damage con on a single fire, which is a stupid idea, especially when there's a Tirpitz closing in on your position, who is almost certainly going to be trying to torp you in the near future. So this is all a gamble. It's all a gamble. Now, we do proxy that, or we do knock out that damage con, which means that in a minute we get our damage con back. How long will it take a Tirpitz to close the distance to potentially torp us and cause a flood? Also, speaking of floods, we got destroyers dropping torps from the middle of the map. As we take a nasty HE salvo from a Kansas. First of all, how dare you shoot HE out of a Kansas? And second of all, ouch! It was actually pretty effective. But yeah, we got very lucky that he didn't set a fire or a double fire with that HE salvo. And you can see we've got Will to Rebuild active, which means we're going to be extremely difficult to take out from here on out. Because we're just going to keep healing. Now, this Tirpitz, I don't want to say that he throws this game. This man throws the game hard. This man could have taken 2 of us out in one rush. All he had to do was go between me and the guy behind me and torp off both sides of his ship. Now, I don't know. Maybe he's lost the torp tube. I don't know. But I will say this. This guy misplays this situation so hard that I had trouble, like, fathoming how it was possible. Now, obviously, we have to proc our heal to keep us alive while we're being punched. I'm hoping, at this point, I know I'm dead, right? I'm getting torped, obviously. So, this guy's going to go between me and the other battleship. He's going to torp both of us. But that's not what he does. We lose a gun here, which is real unfortunate. And we're about to get loaded. I'm like, dude, if I can get loaded, there's a good chance I kill this guy. But watch him. He turns all the way out, and we're able to kill him. And while he does torp the guy behind me, that guy survives, and he didn't torp me. Will to Rebuild's going to allow us to keep going, boys. We're just gonna refuse to die. That's all you can call this. It isn't skill at this point. It's just literally the game's broken mechanic of will to rebuild, keeping my backside alive, and people that just don't understand basic concepts of how to play the game, like you don't spam HE out of an American battleship at another battleship, especially if you're shooting at broadside battleships. But, you know, to each their own. I'm not going to look a gift horse in the mouth, which apparently is a saying that a lot of people haven't heard of. But let me know if you've heard of that saying. Down in the comments below. But anyway, Kansas has turned in. He's coming towards us. He is now caught in a crossfire between the two people that are coming from Alpha and me in the battleship that are directly off his bow. He has to give broadside to somebody, so he smartly gives broadside to the people that are further away. Still, he paid for it. He took like at least a third of his health and damage from that battleship coming through the Alpha cap. And you can see they're still trying to punch him. Now here, I go ahead and elect to beach. Why? Because I don't want this Kansas to get around me and get a broadside. So you can see I turn towards the island initially, and then I turn full bow in to try to keep myself as angled as possible. And you can see I'm out of heals, and I'm up to 22,000 damage. And here we're going to take a shot into the superstructure, killing him. And that's when the black decides to show up. Now this black is going to YOLO torp us, right? It's pretty obvious. So rather than going out away from this guy that I just killed, I'm going to use his corpse as spaced armor. Torpedo protection. You know, that sort of thing. He can't torp through his dead teammate. So we're going to use that as mobile cover. Well, I guess it's not mobile cover anymore, but it's cover. And this guy is going to have a real bad time as we come around this wreck, and we're able to get our front guns to bear as well as our secondaries, and he's done. He's gone. And, yeah, we managed to finish him off, getting our, I forget how many kills that was. 4 kills, 150,000 damage, Dreadnought high caliber, not even top of the leaderboard. Ghost Knight in the Roma and the Baltimore that came around the Alpha Cap got top of the leaderboard. So, well done to them, well done to Ren, and GG's to anybody else who was in this match. And if you like what I'm doing, punch the like button, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next video.